Let's start today's Abhidhamma study, reciting Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay. Welcome back to Abhidhamma class. Today's lesson 71. As knowledge, we are studying the 16 knowledge or 10 vipassana jnana. So after the 10 vipassana jnana, it continue the arising of mega jnana, phala jnana, afterwards Pachavakkhana jnana, which is called reviewing knowledge. And so if we count it from the knowledge of mentality and materialities, so altogether it is counted 16 knowledge. Now if we just count only the knowledges focusing on the 3 characteristics of conditioned phenomena, only 10. These are mentioned in the Abhidhamma Sangha. So today we will study about the Pachavakkhana jnana. So in the previous lesson, I have explained about the attainment of mega and phala. Here the attainment of mega phalas can be recognized in the certain cognitive process. So when the inside knowledge become mature and come to the top highest point, which is called the Sankharupekkha jnana. The Sankharupekkha jnana maintained there and need to practice repeatedly, reflecting on the conditioned phenomena with the equanimity, which is called Sankharupekkha jnana. Then when the Sankharupekkha jnana is mature enough, it's going to arise the mega and phala. Then the process arises, the starting process of, we call the mega viti. And mega viti, although it is considered of a phala mind movement, it is not recognized as the mega phala viti. It's just recognized as the mega viti because the mega is the leaders, the moment. And so in the process of mega viti, still have the mind movement of vipassana jnana, and that is called the anuloma jnana. So is after the anuloma movement, then the mega arise and cutting off the respective defilements, then experience nibbana. The mega do that performing these function, and after that the phala follow to the mega, the same level of phala, because the phala, the fruitions, is the resultant of path mega, that they are connected. So that is called the in mega witty process or the attainment of mega and phala in the respective level. If the Buddhajana practice at the beginning, the path is Sodapatti mega and fruition is Sodapatti phala. So after the arising of that Sodapatti mega witty, then the mega witty, after mega phala or phala mind movement, you may remember that two or three mind movement. Because the three or four mind movement depends on the how many the inside knowledge in the sensual desire jhana, wholesome consciousness arise. So parikama, upachara, anuloma, godrabu. So if so, starting from parikama, already 4. Only remain 3 mind movement to complete 7 jhana. So after mega, only two moments remain, right? So parikama, upachara, anuloma, godrabu, 4 already finished, then the mega. Then and to complete only 2 mind movement for phala. So if the person is very sharp knowledge, and that person does not need to have the parikama mind movement. So upachara, anuloma, godrabu, after that the mega arise. So she have a 3 mind movement for phala. So depending on the types of individual, 2 or 3 mind movement arise for the phala. After that, the life continuum, bhavanga consciousness arise as usual. So before the arising of mega phala, also after cognitive process, the life continuum, which is called bhavanga, take place as a part of life. So here also, after the arising of mega viti, at the end, the bhavanga take place. So after the bhavanga arise, 3 kinds of Pachavakkhana jnana for each individual arise that reflect on mega and reflect on phala and reflect on nibbana. So these are called the reviewing knowledge. But here this translation is from the Comprehensive Manual of Abhidhamma, just translate the text of Abhidhamma Sangha. So here you see the wise person refers to the noble person who is able to attain the mega and phala. So this considers as a wise person and review the path. So after the attainment, he reflects on what he has achieved, the path, and fruit, and nibbana. So according to this text and some scholar, there must be definitely arise at least 3 types of reviewing knowledge. Then afterward, the either review or does not review. This is optional. Sometimes happiness, sometimes not. Reflecting on the defilement destroyed and remaining defilements. So if we count it for one individual, it can be at most 5 kinds, but it does not mean only one time he can reflect. He can reflect many times as much as he wish. He want to repeat it also, it is possible, but we can count it is only one kind because it takes the same object. For example, the path, reviewing on the path. There can be many cognitive process, but as long as it takes the path knowledge he have achieved as it is object, is we can consider as one type. So for the path, fruition, and nibbana, it seems definitely. But even for this case, and some scholar does not agree. Why? They say is the some at the Buddha's time, even for 7 years old, very young age, they could attain this kind of achievement, sort of Abhidhamma or like this, and sometimes some become arhat. So for the conventional case, although they have enough paramita and then they follow to the Buddha's teaching and practice, they understand what are the impermanence, nature, suffering, non-self, and they could mature their inside knowledge and attain their mega and phala. Therefore, the conventional understanding, it is still very limited, so they may not review it, because the practice come through the experiential, and I say the recognition. But for the reflection, it needs according to them. But for the Abhidhamma Sangha, it mentioned that there must be, the path, fruit, and nibbana, reflection on these three. The reviewing knowledge must arise, and the other two is optional, because the destroying defilement and remaining defilement still they may not know, especially the remaining defilements. For those who did not learn how many defilements to remove, and because it is not purposely destroying the defilement, I will destroy this lobha or dosa or like this, because the arising of path, the rising of mega jnana, naturally automatically destroying the respective nature of defilements. That's why for the remaining defilement, if he did not know, and he cannot reflect on that, or he cannot review on that. So anyway, now in this passage, we can understand the 5 kinds of reviewing knowledge on focusing on path, of focusing on fruition, focusing on nibbana, and focusing on the defilement, destroy defilement or remaining defilement. Okay, so after that, here the 6-fold purity is called purification of knowledge and vision. And this is just a conclusion of the session of purification of knowledge and vision, and Jnana Dasana Visuddhi. Because this conclusion comes at the end, so the scholars counted up to this, the purification process come. But when maybe you remember that when we counted the purification process, explain the purification process, and it ends in the mega and phala only. Mega and phala is called the purification by knowledge and vision. But here, after the explanation of Paccavekkhana Jnana, is come the conclusion. So it's called the purification by knowledge and vision. Then the section of purification finished. This is also conclusion of the purification. So let's see the explanation here. The explanation by Bhikkhu Bodhi. So after each of the 4 supramundane path attainment, the noble person, after each attainment, so Sotapanna individual also, after his attainment of Sotapatti Magga, he reviewed Sotapatti Magga and Sotapatti Phala and Nibbana he has experienced at the moment. So the Godravu moment, starting from Godravu moment, it's experience Nibbana. So Godravu moment and Magga moment also take Nibbana as its object, and two or three man movement of fruition also taking Nibbana as its object. So he reviewed these Magga, Phala, and Nibbana. And after that, invariably, so it means not invariably mean not definitely for reviewing the abandoned defilement and the remaining defilement. So the other three is considered as mostly generally agree it is necessary. Yeah, that's the reason, Sotapanna, after the attainment of Sotapatti Magga, some consider that is it possible some people already attained the Sotapatti Magga, but they may not know he has attained the Sotapatti Magga. This question arises. So in this case, because this is generally agree, the path, fruition, and Nibbana must be reviewed by the reviewing knowledge. That's why we can say that the Sotapanna, after the attainment, he must know he has attained this path with the reviewing knowledge, at least. So although he is lack of the knowledge, learning, he can know this is the path, this is the fruition, and this is Nibbana. That is the nature of the attainment. So it cannot be confused. Then for the defilements abandoner and defilement remaining. So for the defilement abandoner, maybe they can check, there's no more this kind of defilement. But for the remaining, in one sutta, it is mentioned that Mahanama, the prince, the king, become the king Mahanama, he asked some question about the remaining defilements and to the Buddha, although he has attained the Magga and Phala. And I mean, he does not recognize, he does not see clearly what kind of defilement still remain to be abandoned after further practice. So by referring to the sutta, the scholar, even the Venerable Anuruddha, he himself said, usually, just usually, it is not invariably, not definitely. So if they can reflect on, review on them, they may have the solid knowledge about the abandon of defilement or remaining defilements. So this is how the Abhidhamma Sangha has expressed as this. You can say that this kind of nature related to the reviewing knowledge. So the five. In this case, here there are a maximum of 19 kinds. So altogether, there are 19 kinds of reviewing knowledge. 19 kinds of reviewing knowledge. And first is for each of the first three parts. So Sotapatti Magga, Sakadagami Magga, and Anagami Magga for three path knowledge. And it can happen the five. So together 15 for three individual. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami. So each of them can have the 5 reviewing knowledges. So there are 15. And for the final part, this refers to the Arhat. After the attainment of the final part, Arhata Mega, and there can be only 4 reviewing knowledge. So altogether, 19 kinds of reviewing knowledge. Because the Arhat only have the 4, the reason is he is fully liberated and he has eradicated all remaining defilements at the moment of Arhata Mega. So there is no more remaining defilements to review for him, to review for him. So Arhata person, only 4. So let's see in the individual and their respective knowledges. So let's review the 8 noble person here. When we study about the individual and studying from the lesson 5, I have explained this one and repeated several times and throughout the lesson series. So here, among the 12 individual, so 4 Puthujjana and 8 noble disciple or noble person. There, so at the moment of starting Mega, my moment, it is called the path individual. After that, he become the fruition individual. So if we just count the fruition, because at the moment of path individual, only the one mind moment, he has no time to reflect on, review on anything. The path knowledge just arises, taking Nibbana as its object, and that only starting that moment is called the mega individual. So there's no opportunity to have other mind moment for the megatana. So we can count only palatana, because after the arising of the mega viti, as long as he does not attain the further achievement of mega, the next step of mega, he is called that kind of person. So after attainment of Sotabati mega, he is called stream entry, so Sotabati Palatana individual. So he can reflect on the path, fruition, and nibbana. And sometimes they destroy defilement and remaining defilement. So for Sotabati Palatana, and there can be 5 like this. So Sakaragami Palatana 5, Anagami Palatana, and Arhata 4. So these are among the 12 individual, we can count the 4 fruition individual. Sotapati Palatana, Sakaragami Palatana, Anagami Palatana, Arhata Palatana. Although Sotapana, although the Puthujjana individual, he may reflect on these are remaining defilement, because all defilements need to be removed. Still, we can consider still remaining in his process, and maybe sometimes he review on that, he reflect on that, he practice on the remaining, not abandoned yet, the defilement in him. That is not called the Pachawakana Jnana. That's just, we can say, the inside knowledge. Inside knowledge. By the inside knowledge, he can reflect the remaining defilement, or this is defilement, and also that defilement have the nature or dukkha or anatta, and that kind he can count it. In Mahasatipatthana Sutta, it's mentioned that the practitioner he focused on the unwholesome factors, defilements. Yeah, so that is not called the reviewing knowledge. Only when the attainment of, after the attainment of Megaphala, and it is called the reflection knowledge or reviewing knowledge. Okay, so let's count the 19 kinds for each individual. Yeah, Sotabana. So all 5 kinds complete Sotabati Mega. Here we can understand. But Sotapanna cannot rebuild the Sakadagami mega jnana because he has never attained it. And he can reflect only for himself. He has attained. And after the attainment of Sakadagami mega, also the path through Nibbana and abandoned defilements and remaining defilement. Here, I'm putting question marks because I need you to remind what are the abandoned defilements for the Sotapattipatthana. What kind of defilement he has abandoned, or how many defilements still remain. So you need to find out. We already discussed, we already learned that although this mentioned in the chapter 9, we studied earlier because it is very helpful to understand this knowledge, helpful to understand the other aspect. Okay, so up to the Anagami Mega, all three fights, so together 15 knowledge. And for the Arhata Palatana, there's no more remaining defilement. He can reflect, he can review on the abandoned defilements. So there's no more remaining defilements for the Arhat after the attainment of Arhatship. And here, these are 19 kinds of reviewing knowledge. Okay, so let's see the abandoned defilements and also at the same time the remaining defilements. So here it is mentioned that for each mega knowledge in this, what are the defilements or here according to that in Sanyojana abandoned by the specific mega. Let's review. So for the Sotapattipatthana mega, he removed the personality view, Sakaya Ditti, and doubt, Vichikicha, and adherence to rights and ratio, Silabhata Paramasa. These are three kinds of Sanyojana. This is mentioned in the Sutta. Also, you can check in the Sutta, and it's mentioned for the first attainment of mega, completely eradicate three kinds of Sanyojana. It's mentioned that the Tina Sanyojana Prikya. So all three Sanyojana are eradicated. So if we take out the essence or refers to the ultimate reality under this name, so personality view, Sakaya Deity, this is not Deity, the mental factors are Deity. And the third one, Silavata Brahmasa, adherence to rights and ratios, also the mental factors of round view, Deity Chitasika. And doubt, Vichikicha is Vichikicha Chitasika. So only two mental factors according to the defilements. Now we can say this is two kinds of defilement. And if we count the associated consciousness for these two, you may remember that here the Deity and Vichikicha. So Deity associated with 4 kinds of consciousness among the 12 unwholesome, or the 89 consciousness. The round view can associate only 4. These are the 4 consciousness rooted in greed. So greed-rooted consciousness associated with round view, only 4. So because round view cannot arise, as long as these 4 consciousness arise, and round view will accompany, because these are associated with round view. That's why after the eradication of round view, completely destruction of round view, these 4 consciousness cannot arise in the Sotapanna. Sotapanna is mind. So we can understand 4 consciousness associated with round view. And because the past knowledge completely eradicate the Vichikicha. So the consciousness arise with Vichikicha also cannot arise. This is only one type. So you may remember the Vichikicha associated with only the Vichikicha Sahagata consciousness, which is rooted in delusion. So Mohamula associated with doubt. So altogether, 5 consciousness also cannot arise in the Sotapanna's mind. So if we count according to the Sanyojana, 3 kinds of fetters, Sanyojana cannot arise. So we can consider 3 kinds of Sanyojana or 2 kinds of defilements are eradicated defilement. It can reflect on, Sotapanna can reflect the remaining, the defilement eradicator. It refers to the 2 kinds of defilement, Ditti and Vichikicha. So if we reflect by way of fetters, 3 kinds. If we reflect by way of consciousness, 5 kinds of consciousness. So for the remaining, so if we count among the 10 defilement, so Lobha, Dosa, Moha, Mana, Ditti, Vichikicha, Tina, Uddhacca, Ahirika, Anattava. So these are 10 kinds of defilements. Among the 10 kinds, if he has removed 2 defilements, so he can reflect 8 kinds of defilements still remain to eradicate. So 2 is eradicated and 8 remaining. So if he has Abhidhamma knowledge already learned, and he can reflect on how many how many Sanyojana still remain, or how many Sanyojana already eradicated, he knows. Then if he reflect a consciousness, or among the 12 consciousness and wholesome consciousness, I already removed the 5 kinds of consciousness. There's no more 5 kinds of unwholesome consciousness to arise in my mind. And there can be 7 unwholesome consciousness still possible to arise. These are remaining. So this is how the Sotapanna can reflect on the remaining defilements and the eradicated defilements. In the same way, for the Sakadagami Magga, he does not eradicate the new fetters, but by the power of Sakadagami Magga, he attenuates. So the grosser form of sensual desire and evil remove again. So it means the reducing the power of sensual desire and evil for us a next step. Then he can review them as the eradicator, the same, but this potential will be additional. So with this additional power, and he can reflect. So he mentioned the 5 again. And for the Anagami Magga, after the attainment, the 2 defilements of sensual desire, Kama Raga and Vyavara. So 2 Sanyojana, Kama Raga Sanyojana and Vyavara Sanyojana are removed. But for the realities of mental fetters, Kama Raga refers to the Raga, but this is the part, only one part of Raga, because there are still remaining the other types of Raga, Rupa Raga and Arupa Raga. So we cannot count the Lobha. The Anagami just partially eradicate the Lobha, but not completely disrupt it. So we can say that only one types, of the Vyavara is dosa. Defilement he has removed, he has eradicated completely by the power of Anagami Mega Chitta, right? So for the defilement case, we can say one more, the dosa. So Lobha, Vichikicha, this deity, Vichikicha and dosa from the defilement name, from the defilement classification. Or for the Sanyojana classification, he can count by this name, the Kamaraga Sanyojana and Vyabhara Sanyojana too. And for the consciousness, because this Kamaraga referring to the lower manifestas of greed, it can and have another type of Ruparaga and Aruparaga. So the consciousness associated with lobha cannot be eradicated completely. Still, when the Ruparaga arises, and there will be the remaining four of the Tetikata Vibhuta, the greed-rooted consciousness dissociated from round view, still can continue in the form of Ruparaga and Aruparaga. So only two of the Vyabhara refers to the dosa, right? So two consciousness rooted in the hatred. So hatred-rooted consciousness are completely removed. So for Anagami, he can reflect two Sanyojana or one more defilement added or the complete destruction. And also he can, or the partially iron has removed the lobha kilesa, or he can reflect, he can review two more unwholesome consciousness are eradicated, no more chance to arise. Then you can say, the remain eradicating defilement side, seven consciousness. So here's the 5 and the 2 more hatred-rooted consciousness, 7. And if you consider how many unwholesome consciousness still possible to arise, then only 5 remain, only 5. And so the 4 of greed-rooted consciousness dissociated from round view and the delusion-rooted consciousness associated with restlessness, Uddhacca Sahagata, only 5 possible at the moment in the mind of the Anagami individual. So at the moment of Arhata Mega, all the remaining fetters, or we can say on the other hand, all the remaining defilements, all the remaining unwholesome consciousness, the potential of unwholesome consciousness are completely disrupted. So here, according to the Sanyojana, there are 5 Sanyojana eradicated by the Arhata Mega. So desire for 5 material sphere existent, Uparaga. Desire for immaterial sphere existent, Aruparaga. And conceit mana. So mana can remove only by the Arhata Mega. And restlessness, Uddhacca. And ignorance, Avijja. So all defilements or all Sanyojana or all unwholesome consciousness are completely disrupted. That's why for Arhat, there's no more reviewing knowledge, focusing on the remaining defilements. Because he has no more defilement. Okay, so then we already classified the types of the reviewing knowledge and also find out what are the remaining and what are the eradicated defilements. Then let's continue to learn what kind of cognitive process arise, although we name it, the reviewing process. So sometimes it can confuse what kind. So actually, it is same as the consciousness the cognitive process consisting of the wholesome jhana, or functional jhana. So, sorry, here you see this. This is the arising of mega and pala. So we can say the mega viti. After mega viti, the reviewing consciousness, reviewing process arises. That's right. Here, the process of mega viti take place. And anyway, at the end, after the fruition 2 or 3 times, doesn't matter, and the bhavanga, life containment process, arise. Then again, cutting off the bhavanga process is not necessary to find out the how many bhavanga mind movement were. It's not necessary to find out because the bhavanga movement, the period of bhavanga is uncertainty. We cannot count it definitely. So sometimes it takes 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Is many millions of bhavanga we cannot count. So we can just mention in general the bhavanga. After that, here the bhavanga, the last bhavanga, and then the shaken and the here the past bhavanga, vibrational bhavanga, and arrest bhavanga is cutting off again. Then reviewing knowledge arises. So for that reviewing knowledge, sometimes the wholesome jhana, because after the attainment of Sotapaddi Magga, he is still training, and the wholesome consciousness still taking place in his process. So this jhana, 7 jhana, can be considered as wholesome consciousness. So this wholesome consciousness, we can say, it should be one of the whole sensual sensual sphere. Wholesome consciousness, on the other hand, we call it Mahakusala, wholesome consciousness, associated with knowledge. So it is impossible for dissociated from knowledge. For you remember that there are 8 kinds of Mahakusala, wholesome consciousness, and there are 4 associated with knowledge and 4 dissociated from knowledge. In this case, because it is purposely reflecting on starting that with the knowledge, because the function of wisdom is there. That is why the consciousness, by the consciousness dissociated from knowledge, jnana vipayuta, the person cannot review. Only with the knowledge, the consciousness with knowledge, he can review. Either somanasa or ubeka, it doesn't matter. It must be a review, the jnana samyutta, jnana samyutta, or asankarika or sasankarika, no problem. So here you can call it for Sotapanna or for Sakadagami or for Anagami, 3 types of lower fruition person. And these jhana mind movement are wholesome. After that, after the attainment of arhatship, because in the arhat's mental process, no more wholesome. So it changed to the functional types. So the functional consciousness arise. Okay, so after that, the bhavanga drop, then the other types of consciousness arise again. If he trying to enter to the palasamapati, so the mental process, considering of the we can say countless mind movement of fruition will take place. In this way, it continues until the end of samsara, the end of the final the moment of final prinibbana. Okay, so now we understand what is reviewing knowledge and how many kinds of reviewing knowledge and focusing on what object. And also we understand to classify the eradicated defilements by way of the sanyojana fetters or defilements, kilesa, or the consciousness. Then we understand how the reviewing knowledge arise. according to the cognitive process as well. Well, thank you very much for your attention. And sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, Bante. The first question that we received from the chat group, in slide number 2, it is said that sixfold purity, but the reviewing knowledge is fivefold in slide 3. Are these two refer to the same or different thing? Thank you, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so here in this purity refers to the the classification of purification, because we are studying the section of the Visuddhi, so purification. So that for purity refers to the classification of purification. It does not refer to the knowledge. So the reviewing knowledge, not related, is different. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Bante. Question number 2. Dear Sayadaw, if a person had already attained path and fruition in a past life, will he definitely aware of his attainment in this current life? Will he definitely meet with and practice the Buddha's teachings in the current life? If he does not meet the Buddha's teaching, will he be able to practice automatically to higher attainment without any teacher? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, good question. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, because for the attainment of mega and phala, it cannot be, let's say, the forgetable, cannot forget. That's why, and next life also he was definitely aware of his attainment.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, the will continue practicing, because the qualification of Sotapanna included the unshakable faith, the avijja pasada. So it keep with him wherever he was born, because he cannot be reborn in the woeful state, and he can reborn human realm or deva realm. Wherever he reborn, that level, unshakable level of faith on the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha already fits to his mind. So he will keep continuing practicing. And maybe the effort where we in different level, sometimes it's not much emphasizing, not much focusing on the practice, and but it can keep going. But according to the Vedana Sutta, even though he attained the lowest level, he will not exceed to the eighth rebirth. That's why keep practicing is understand can be understood. Then also, even though he does not meet the Buddha teaching, yes, I believe he can continue. He can continue, because here the some still have the long life, or have to reborn in the long life. If the human realms no more Buddha Sasana, very soon, if we count it, just now we can count it, 2,600 around, and that is only very short time period compared to the duration of the war cycle. This war already existed and millions of years. Compared to that, only 2,600 is just a short period, just a very quick period. Only for the human life, because human life is short and we consider it is long. But the Buddha Sasana appear just like the lightning moment in the darkness, very short. So soon it will disappear. Then the Deva realm still will continue. So the Deva in the Tower Densa and the higher Deva, they will still continue in talking about the Dhamma. So Dhamma will not disappear there, because they have a very long lifespan. in the millions of years compared to the counted by the human and lifespan. So in Dewa realm, the teaching will continue. So he can encounter, but after the thousands years later, there will not be no more Buddha Sasana, Buddha teaching in the human realm. So if he reborn, he may not encounter the Buddha teaching, but I believe he can continue practicing because the same method approaching the Vipassana Jnana is applicable. Focusing on the conditional phenomena as the anicca, dukkha, anatta. By doing so, he can attain the next step of enlightenment. Then would eradicate the other defilements. So without the teaching, also, he will be able to practice attainment of, to attain the higher mega and phala. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Bante. And one question. Why is it that a person will not break the 5 precepts automatically after he had attained the first fruition? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is one of the qualification of the Sotapanna individual after the attainment of Sotapatti Magga, and he cannot break precept. I mean, if we consider from the beginning, why we break this precept intentionally, when you are walking and if you step on any insect and it dies, it does not consider as the killing or breaking moral precept because there's no volition to kill Chetana. So if we consider the cause and condition for the breaking sila is defilement, the volition. So only when one has the strong level of defilement, especially dosa, and for the killing, for the stealing, the greed together, like this. So at that level, he can commit this kind of killing or stealing or breaking the precept by the force of strong defilement. So after the attainment of Sotapanna, and that level, although he could not completely eradicate the lobha and dosa, and he had eradicated the gross level, I would say the very strong forces which can cause the commitment of breaking sila already removed. This potential removed. That's why no more killing or stealing like this. And we can consider that that if we purify the water, that still have some dust, but we can make sure all this although some substance according to the the scientific standpoint, even in the purified water, still have some substance, the substance to purify more, but it cannot cause the disease. They claim that this is purified enough, like this. So the defilement also, the different layer is removed. So for the attainment of Sotapanna Magga, it removes the potential of unwholesome nature that can force the individual to commit the breaking sila is already removed. So he cannot break the sila. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Bante. And one question. In slide number 7, for lower fruition person, the jhana is sensual sphere, wholesome jhana with knowledge. So in the case of reviewing knowledge, does it mean that these sensual sphere, Javana, take the path omega, for example, as the object? Thank you, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for your question, and good. Because of that, if you review chapter 3, the Aramana Sangha, about the session on the object. So the sensual javana, wholesome javana, can take the object in different kinds, including mega and pala. So mega, pala, and also the nibbana. So, but except the highest mega and pala, it cannot take the sensual wholesome javana cannot take the arhata mega and arhata pala as it is object, because when he review, only he can review the Sodapati mega, Sodapati pala, Sakaragami mega, Sakaragami pala, and Anagami mega, Anagami pala only. Because for the lower fruition person, he has never attained the path and fruition of Arhat. So he cannot review. That is why you will see that the exception only 2 types. But Nibbana is not exception. He can take Nibbana as the consciousness, wholesome javana associated with knowledge, can take every other object, including Megaphala and Nibbana, as it is object, except the Arhata Mega and Arhata Phala. So you are right. The sensual javana take Mega and Phala as it is object. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Bante. We have another question. How does a meditator review himself practically? How long does he need to review in order to be sure about his attainment? Can a meditation teacher confirm a disciple's attainment? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So for the first question, the meditator review, how does it mean? The meditator here, if we talk about the reviewing knowledge, it's just related to the person who already attained the mega and phala. So how does mean he is the same way, he reflect on the conditional phenomena, because before the attainment of mega and phala, he just focusing on the conditional phenomena. So conditional phenomena refers to the consciousness, including the consciousness, the process of consciousness. So he can see how the ultimate reality arises at that moment before the attainment. So he knows how to discern his mind to reflect on his mental process, how it arises. And by following that, and then he reviewed, focusing on that, or when it is happening, the mind movement, which is called mega, is arise. Then in this way, he can reflect on the mega. And after that, the mega followed by the phala. So after following that, and then he can reflect, oh, this is the phala I has attained. It means it's already arising in my mind, in my mental process, and that he can reflect. So that is called mega, and that is phala. In this way, he can reflect. So also nibbana, through the mega movement, or mega take nibbana as its object, he can go to the nibbana. He can reflect or review the nibbana as well. So without knowing how to the officer focus on one's own mentality, and he cannot review. So before the attainment of mega, he already know how to reflect, how to review the mentalities and materiality, especially in need mentalities practice. So nama practice, the vipassana jnana on mentality, the same as he need to review. And also how long, it's not necessarily how long, even I think, the one mental process can give enough information, because that the mentality, that experience is not the ordinary experience. It is the supramundane level. So it is very obvious. We cannot say exactly how long it is necessary, but the review and knowledge, he just reviewed to verify this is the attainment of mega I had achieved. And also, for meditation teacher, so meditation teacher just depends on how the meditator express. Sometimes in this case, we have to consider which is called Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma is thinking of I have attained like this, but actually it is not. And some person already learned it like this. You already learned the Abhidhamma, and you already have the Abhidhamma knowledge that can project this kind exactly the same. A very similar moment, similar experience, because you already learned, and then you can have this similar experience when it is very close to, for the one who is practicing vipassana jnana, and his mind can project, the displaying or giving not the authentic but very similar experience. Then he can misconclude, misunderstand, or this is achievement, and he can report to the meditation teacher. That time, the meditation teacher can possible, misunderstand, or he really attained, or she really attained, but it is not really, because the person, the yogi, he or herself misunderstand. This is called Abhidhamma. It can possible sometimes, for example, if you are close to touch something, very hard, although you didn't touch, and then you think, oh, I already touched, and it is burned. My hand already burned like this, because it is very close to, and he is expecting for, it can possible a kind of projection of the mind for the attainment. So if the yogi himself misunderstand and report, it's not really, he's not telling lie, just misunderstand and thinking already done, and he reported. Then the meditation teacher also can make the wrong conclusion. So yeah, we have to make sure. So mostly the meditation teacher just encourage or to do something, but other than deciding or giving the assurance, is you already done, or normally it is not done. It is not mentioned. Yeah. Thank you.
Question 6. If a person already studied a lot on Buddha's teachings, will his learning, for example, already knew the Magga and Phalamai, will this affect his reviewing? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Also, no, here is, I think it's not different, although he is learned or not learned, it will not be different, because the Sotapanna, it comes with the power of attainment, Mega and Phala, the reviewing system. Maybe if he has learned, and he can review the remaining refinement and eradicated refinement specifically, and for the Mega and Phala Nibbana, it will not be different. So yeah, this is the learning support, especially to understand so is easy to understand at the moment of practicing. So that is he is not going wrong way or wrong conclusion at the moment he before he attained the mega emperor. So for the reviewing knowledge is not much effect. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's
Sadhu.
make aspiration and share our marriage to our being. Please repeat after me. Imina punya kamina
Imina punya kamena
kami bala samagamo
mame bala samagamo
sadam samagamo hodu
satang samagamo hotu
yava nibbana padiya
yawa nibbana patiya
idami punyam
idame punyang
asawakaya vahang hodu
asawakayang wahang hotu
idami punyam
idame punyang
nibbana sabajayo hodu
nibbana sapacayo hotu
mama punya bhagam
mama punya bagang
Sabba sadhanam bhajimi
sabba sattanang bhajemi
te sabbe
te sabe
te samam
me samang
punya bhagam labantu
punya bagang labantu
sa
sadhu
sa
sadhu sadhu